Welcome to the Games Get Played Network. I'm your host, Wise, and I'm back. Everybody got their opinions, man, but at the end of the day, the games still have to be played. You got to line the shit up and see how you come out on the other side of it. Without further ado, we're going to get into the Miami versus Syracuse preview. So Miami travels to Syracuse this Saturday, and they face Syracuse at 3:30. So, how we'll start this off, man. I personally think that this is Miami's toughest opponent of the season out of everybody we faced. Syracuse comes in at 8-3. I'm not going to cover every single game they had, but more so, I'm going to focus on common opponents and key opponents in the ACC. So they beat Georgia Tech week 2, 31-28. Kyle McCord had 381 yards that game. Notable games on the schedule. They lost to Stanford. To be honest, a game that they should have never lost, but they lost to Stanford 26-24 on a last-second field goal. They got their ass curb stomped by Pitt. That was the game where McCord threw like 5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes. So Pitt beat the dog shit out them boys. They beat Virginia Tech in overtime. And Virginia Tech didn't have drones. And then they also beat UNLV in overtime. They lost to Boston College 31-37. They did beat Cal. So Miami also played Cal. They beat Cal 33-25. And that's it. So they come in at 8-3. Just being honest, they easily could be 10-1. The only game where they really got their ass beat was against Pitt. A lot of people saw that game. It got real bad for them. And pretty much the common thing with the losses that they've had was them turning the ball over. We'll start up top, man, with just how everything is set up, how it's all looking. So Syracuse, they're scoring 31.7 points per game. All right. Their defense gives up 28 per game. And we'll get to that in a second. You can pretty much get whatever you want against a defense. So Miami needs to handle business. So on offense, Kyle McCord is their quarterback. On the year, he has 3,946 yards. So he pretty much got 4,000 passing yards already, bro. In a nutshell, he be slinging that motherfucker around. I want to say out of P4 guys, I'm pretty sure he probably leads the country in passing yards right now because he has more than Cam Ward, for sure. So 3,900 passing yards. He completing 65% of his passes, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He 22 sacks, so he pretty much getting sacked 2 times a game. Just being up front and honest. He had one really, really bad game against Pitt. But outside of that, man, Kyle McCord is a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback, actually. And, if you watched him play at Ohio State last year, like he's taking his game to the next level. And he makes a lot of NFL throws. And he's nothing to be played with, bro. 4,000 passing yards in a season, and they still have at least 2 more games left because they got Miami and then they have a bowl game. I mean, when it's all said and done, this man might be throwing for 4,500 yards. At running back, LaQuint Allen is their main and pretty much only running back. There's nobody else that even matters to cover. He got 819 yards on the season, 12 rushing touchdowns. All right, so this is where shit get shaky, in my opinion, for Miami. So, Syracuse has the best receiving core, just overall, especially when you include the tight end that Miami has seen all season. It's not even close. So, Syracuse best playmaker is Oronde Gadsden the second. Gadsden is fire. He's an absolute mismatch for Miami. There's not one player that we have that's been playing all year that can guard Gatson one-on-one. I'm just keeping shit funky. We don't have anybody to guard Gatson. And we'll cover matchups later, but Gatson is a killer. He's a killer. He's one of the best tight ends in the country. He make hella plays, and it's real hard to contain, bro. Their next leading receiver is Jackson Meeks, number 7. Bro got 801 yards on the year, 5 touchdowns. Then they got Trevor Pena, 743 yards on the year, 6 touchdowns. And then LaQuint Allen is such a big part of what they do in the pass game that he has 423 receiving yards, on the year, 3 touchdowns. So overall, Allen has over 1,200 yards from scrimmage and 15 touchdowns. They definitely get him involved by dumping it out to him, screen game. They send him out the backfield and do different things with him. So, that's definitely going to be something to keep our eye out on just because of how things flow, how Miami, chooses to cover running backs out of the backfield and things of that nature. Then they got another receiver, Gill Jr. Boy, averaging 16 yards a catch, 400 yards on the year. It's just a lot going on, man. They got another guy that can make plays and get loose on Miami, Hatcher. Just a lot, honestly. They gonna be a handful, and Miami got to be up for the challenge. Miami definitely got to be up for the challenge because shit is shaky. As far as on defense, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna really cover anybody on their defense. Just being honest, their defense not like that. All right, that's the best way that I can put it. You got certain guys you may want to name, Deuce Chestnut, Marlo Wax Jr., the DB Barron, maybe Clark. They not like that though. Nobody on their defense is like that. They ain't got nobody too crazy on the D line. If anything, we'll have to make sure that we, keep an eye on Diggs. But outside of that, they not like that on defense, bro. They give up 28 points a game, and you really can get whatever you want on Syracuse, if I'm being honest. I'm definitely expecting a straight up shootout. So Syracuse averages 454 yards on offense per game. They chunking that bitch down the field, bro. They get 362 passing yards per game. They don't even get 100 rushing yards a game. 362 passing. When I tell you these motherfuckers throw the ball downfield, bro, they gonna throw that ball downfield. Miami better be ready. And it's our biggest weakness up against their biggest strength. And that's the part, that's concerning if I'm being honest. Their defense is giving up 360 yards a game, 28 points per game. So, do whatever you want, man. Like, the defense ain't stopping shit. So that's why I'm expecting a straight up shootout. They only have like 9 interceptions on the whole year. They only get 2 sacks a game. There's nothing to really cover with their defense, man. Their offense is everything that they got. And I'm expecting a straight up shootout. That's really the only way I can put it. And obviously, man, y'all know what's going on with Miami. We'll cover it anyway, but 45 points a game. We still lead the nation in scoring. The defense is giving up 22 points per game. And when you factor in how bad the defense has played during big stretches of the year, to think that overall they've only given up 22 points a game, which is good for 43rd in the nation. I don't think it shows. It's not indicative of what you see on the film. With the way teams have been able to go up and down the field, that's more so it feels like 30 a game. But Miami, 542 yards per game, man, 360 passing, and 181 rushing yards. We making it do what it do. The defense is only giving up 305 yards per game. So, that in itself, man, we gotta be mindful of what's going on. But Syracuse is they're gonna get what they want. It ain't no other way to put it. But Cam Ward on the year, 3,774 passing yards, completing 67% of his passes, 34 TDs, 7 picks. I would like to point out that Cam Ward is 2 touchdowns away from breaking the all-time, well, tying it. So he's 3 touchdowns away from breaking the all-time touchdown passing record in the history of college football. They're not really talking about it, but it is what it is. So that and the completions record will end up being his. That's crazy to think about that Cam Ward has the most touchdowns in the history of college football. And you really don't see it being talked about at all, or he will. After this game, I expect him to have that record, and it'll be a signed, sealed, and delivered. Obviously, y'all know what's going on, man. Damien Martinez is the leading rusher. I'm not really going to cover stats with the running backs. I'm just going to talk about what I think we need to see. Martinez, Fletcher, and Lyle was a great combination last week. He ran for over 200 yards. I think we need to see a combination like that again. Martinez, Lyle, Fletcher, Martinez, Allen, Lyle, however, but put the change of pace guys in there, let them get in there and mix it up. I think will be good for us. We really should be able to run and get whatever we want on Syracuse. So, I would expect us to run the ball the same or either better than we did against Wake. So I expect 200 rushing yards on the ground. Obviously, X is leading us with 979 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns. Jacoby, 607, 7 touchdowns. Isaiah Horton unclipped 600 yards on the season, 5 TDs. Sam Brown got 500 and 2 TDs. And then Arroyo is at 482 with 5 TDs. I said all of that to say I really expect a big day overall from all 5 of those guys. I expect us to do damage with this shit, man. Like, they defense is ass. So, we need to make shit happen, honestly. As far as on the defensive side of the ball, I'm not going to cover no numbers or nothing with the defense, but, we will discuss the fact that we need Kiko to play similar to how he played last week. One of the main differences is he will be asked to guard LaQuint Allen out of the backfield at times. I would hope we would try to slide Wesley or somebody else on him, but it is what it is. I'm hoping that we get Damari Brown back. All right. I'm hoping that we get Damari Brown back because that's going to be vital for us attempting to win this game. It's going to be super important. So this is how we're going to do this week, y'all. Instead of the normal setup where everything, the breakdown pops up with the film and we kind of transition over, I'm going to continue discussing what Miami needs to do in order to win. And while I'm doing that, we'll roll some film overall on Syracuse. I'll discuss what I saw when I watched the film on Syracuse, and we'll just kind of discuss Miami keys to victory. So when I cut the film on with Syracuse, man, one of the first things that I noticed is how often that they get Gadsden and Pena and them guys involved. Bro, they throw that ball down the field a lot. And that's why McCord has right under 4,000 passing yards. So Jackson Meeks, they're going to take shots to him. They're going to take shots to Pena, intermediate shots. Gadsden is a mismatch. Gill. So they do a lot of back shoulder throws. They love running screens, running back screens. So how Miami loves to get upfield and try to get after the quarterback. They will call a screen and dump that ball off and just, take advantage, man. And Allen in space doesn't really bode well for us. But it's going to be a tall task, honestly, trying to defend these guys. When you turn the film on, you do see that McCord, he'll take some bad sacks at times. He definitely will also turn the ball over at times. I saw, even outside of the Pitt game, one of the things that McCord likes to do is when he's looking for a big play sometimes, a lot of times the big plays that they have called are one read, right? So he'll call Hut and he'll lock onto that read. I've seen him throw at least 4 interceptions by just locking on to his read when he calls Hut. But then I've also seen him complete a lot of those balls. The one thing about Syracuse, they have the top 3 contested pass catchers in the country, and Gadsden, Meeks, and Pena. They got the most. I'm gonna say that one more time. They have the most contested catches in the country. So they're winning those 50-50 balls, or however you want to look at them, more than anybody else. And y'all know what the situation looked like with our DBs. That's going to be critical in what's going on. So the main things that I saw, the run game they got is okay. It's not good like that. Allen can make plays. He can cause problems for us, but they like to pass the ball, bro. That's why they doing 360 a game and only 95 rushing yards. They only have 1,000 rushing yards on the entire season. 1,000. That's not a lot of rushing yards, bro. Like, that's really not a lot at all. Compared to what Miami is doing, we have almost 2,000 rushing yards on the season. You feel what I'm saying? So that's kind of where that's at with that. But it's going to be critical, man, that we lock in and do what we need to do. Also on film, I mean, their pass rush is okay. Like I said, they got one guy that, do something. Other than that, I mean, they're average or below average when it comes to pass rush, honestly. And they're not picking a lot of shit off. Like, you really can get whatever you want on Syracuse's defense. There's nothing about the defense to quote unquote respect. So I expect Miami to be able to go out here and get what they want. You can run on Syracuse and you can pass on Syracuse. All Miami has to do is not turn the ball over. That's really all they got to do. If Miami takes care of the ball, we're good. I'm going to say that again. If Miami takes care of the ball and don't turn it over, we're good. From a matchups perspective, what's going to be key for me is if Damari Brown plays. So if Damari Brown plays, I would expect Damari Brown to guard Oronde Gadsden II. That's what I would do. I would put our biggest and our best DB on Gadsden. I understand that it'll be Damari's first game back, but Gadsden is a tight end. Damari is big. He's physical, and he's our best chance to make it tough on Gadsden. I don't think that's a guy. You're not stopping him, okay? You're not going to shut him down. He a tight end that got 810 receiving yards on the year. Most likely leads the country in receiving yards for a tight end, okay? You're not stopping him. You just need to try to slow him down. You need to try to take away the times when he's the first read for Kyle McCord. If you can take that away and you can put Damari on him and still bracket him, though. I'm not saying, hey, Damari, you got him solo. That's a tall task, bro. Put Damari on him and you bracket him inside. When you have a guy bracketing him inside and you have Damari playing him straight up, what ends up happening is some of those different concepts that Syracuse like to run, Kyle McCord has thrown interceptions on those because if somebody has been bracketed inside, like when they played Pitt, they had a small guy on Gadsden, but he bracketed inside. And then they had somebody else over the top. So when Kyle McCord tried to basically throw the ball underneath the small bracketed guy, you know what I'm saying? It's easy. He knows where he's going, what he's doing. He know he's not guarding him over the top. He just got inside leverage. So he was right there. He picked it off. I think he scored a touchdown. But I saw some other plays where, people made plays when he tried to throw it to Gadsden, but it's usually in bracket coverage. He catches the ball very well, and he's very athletic. So that's why I said put Damari on him, because if you put Kiko on Gadsden, he going to score. If you put Wesley on Gadsden, he gonna fuck him up. Jaden Harris can't guard nobody. Obviously, Mish can't guard him. So when you go down the line of who you would use, the only other player that could attempt to help cover Gadsden would be Markeith Williams. And Markeith haven't really played like that this year, so I wouldn't expect them to just throw him into the game and say, hey, guard Gadsden. So if Damari plays, he should be on Gadsden with some bracketed help on the inside. If Damari doesn't play, then expect Gadsden to have at least 150 receiving yards. No other way for me to put that. I don't see any way we stop this guy if Damari Brown is not playing. I just don't see it. We don't have the personnel unless Markeith does something amazing and comes in and they finally let him play, cool, because he's our best cover safety. But other than that, I don't see how we can stop him. With Jackson Meeks and Pena, this might be the first week where OJ may give up a couple of plays, and not even necessarily that he's beat, but they do make a lot of contested catches, especially Meeks and Pena as well. So we may see OJ Frederick in a situation where it's a 50-50 ball and he don't come down with it or whatever. I'm not going to get frustrated by that. But what I don't need is I don't need Daryl Porter or De'Ani Hill or motherfuckers like that just letting people run free, okay? We got to be as tight as possible on these guys in coverage, and we got to keep shit locked in. If they on the side with OJ, I expect good play. If they on the side in another situation, if Porter is back on the outside for good, then he might be fine guarding Pena or Meeks. So we'll kind of see. I think the wild card is what they do with LaQuint Allen. Kiko can't guard him, in my opinion. That's not a good matchup. So I don't know if they're going to slide Wesley on him, or I don't know if we're going to play an additional DB because we may attempt to do some sort of bracketing coverage. So maybe Zaquan is on him, or maybe you put one of the young linebackers. So on the passing downs, you have them guard them. But we got to do something in that sense to kind of to make sure shit is locked up. One of the things that I also think will play in Miami's favor is our pass rush. I've seen them give up sacks. They've given up at least 2 a game anyway. But in general, like, they're not giving up the sacks just because McCord is holding the ball. Like, they get beat at times. And just with what I saw on the film, our D-line should be able to win those battles in those pass rushing situations. And the way we win this game is not as much of the secondary holding up. It's more so about the D-line. Okay, McCord and Syracuse, they have some long developing concepts. So at times, McCord has to hold on to the ball in order to execute what they're trying to do. And that's going to be Miami's opportunity to come up with the sacks and potentially force a turnover or 2. If we can force a couple of turnovers, Miami will definitely win this game as long as we don't turn the ball over. And all 3 of Syracuse's losses, it's because they've turned the ball over and not handled it how they were supposed to. Honestly, I think it ends up being a shootout. Miami can get whatever they want. So if we take care of the ball, I think we just end up in a shootout. And it's the last game of the season, and nobody else probably said it to him, so I'm going to say it. Cam Ward, dog, take the fucking check down. I'm going to say it again. Cam Ward, take the fucking check down. Stop keeping your eyes too much downfield. Bro, take the check down. Run the fucking ball, bro. If you take off and scramble 3 or 4 times in the first half, that's going to change everything about how they're attempting to defend us. Rather if we getting off or not, when you take off and you scramble because you can get chunks of yards, it will impact how the defense chooses to rush the passer, what they're doing from a conceptual standpoint. It changes everything. Even if you're not going to run the rest of the game, if you take off early on, bro, it's going to change shit. Take the check down and take off. Don't be trying to hold a ball for 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, bro. If it's not there, you should have a max of a 6.5, 7 second clock and you go. Just go. Pick up the yards, pick up the first downs. Dawson ain't real enough to tell you this shit because he be acting like a hoe. Pick up the first downs, bro. This is the last game of the season that we need to win so we can get to the ACC title game. Just do what you got to do. Take the check down, run the ball. So if you do that, all of that extra big shit that you want downfield will be there and then some, because people will be respecting the fact that you're potentially going to take off, and it'll open shit up. Dawson, this message is for you. Run the fucking ball, bro. Run the ball. You can get whatever you want on these boys. They fucking trash on defense. They are garbage. You can get whatever you want. Run the fucking ball. Run the ball, bro. Use the play action pass for real. Run it, set up the play action, get Arroyo involved. Like, bro, any concept you want to run, you can do it on them. All we got to do is execute. They're not stopping anything. Miami can only stop themselves, all right? That's all y'all need to do. That's it. Defense. Get a couple stops, force a couple turnovers. I know Syracuse about to get a lot of yards on y'all. I ain't even mad at it. What I need y'all to fucking do is do what I said. Force a couple of turnovers and get some stops. We're going to be in a shootout. We already know this. They're going to air that bitch out. I need the D-line to fucking show up. Ruben Bain, you need to show up, bro. Not for a quarter, not for a quarter and a half. For 4 quarters, you need to show up, Bain. Mesidor, I need you locked in all 4 quarters, my boy. Keep grinding, keep doing it. I need you locked in. Tyler Barron, if you're going to play this week after you got your ass benched last week, you need to show the fuck up, give the right effort, and stop coming in high. I guess Jason Taylor didn't tell you ass. Maybe he did tell you you've been doing it all season. Bro, stop coming in that high, attempting to get sacks and tackle people. The face mask shit or almost face mask shit is out of control, bro. Chill out. Elijah Austin, if you play, you got to play better than you was playing in them other games, because starting from VTech on, shit was downhill. All right? Tighten up. Simeon Barrow, I need you to keep doing what you're doing, my brother. Keep playing hard. You and Mezzi, keep doing what y'all doing. Malik Bryant, I know you're going to get some reps this game. I need you to get in there and play your ass off. Wesley, show up, my boy. That's all I'm going to say. Kiko, I hope we use you how we used you last game so you can make plays. Jaden Harris, I need you to not be as much of a liability as you have been all season. This is the last game of the season, bro. Please don't be the reason that this opportunity is blown. Mish, I need another game like you had last week, Mish. All right? You got the pick 6. You got a sack. I need some similar shit like that. You didn't make a bunch of critical errors. You made a couple, but you played a good game. I need a game like that. Daryl Porter, I need you to show up again this week. I need you locked in. OJ, you already know how it is, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully, Zaquan will play and make some plays. The young linebackers get in the game. And hopefully, we'll be smart and play Markeith. Playing Markeith on passing downs to help guard Gatson would be a very smart idea. Overall, man, run the ball, force a couple turnovers. I like Miami for 600 yards. I know that's a lot, but it is what it is. I'm expecting a full-fledged shootout. And I like Miami 45-38 in this game against Syracuse. I will say, if Damari Brown does not play, if Miami lost this game, I wouldn't be shocked. That's how much I feel like this hinges on what happens, because conceptually, I know that there's nothing we can really do with Gadsden to stop him. And our best chance to slow him down is Damari, or to use Markeith the proper way to provide help. I got Miami 45-38 in a shootout in the Dome, and Miami will move on and go to the ACC championship game. 45-38. You heard it here. Expect a big day from Cam Ward. The offense is going to do whatever the fuck they want to do and run all over Syracuse. And we about to go crazy and beat the shit out of Syracuse. Until next time, signing off.
We play this game to win, by any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parks, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you.